Okay, this is season 2 of Enkinlives radio podcast. Um, right. Okay, so Enkinlives radio. Put the lives right in there. So, basically, I'm making this video because a lot of the times I'm going about my daily life just pretty ecstatic, just kind of um, I'm fine. Death is okay. Life is fine because, like death is not the end, it's only the beginning. Um, so basically, this video is trying to basically bring all of the viewers into my headspace. This is kind of for someone, upset, kind of like confused. Ideally, your mind is so fucked up that you like don't want to go outside, and a lot of people are at that place with the flat Earth. We're gonna start there, like the difference. Okay, so basically, flat Earth and globe Earth. Okay, so at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Okay, it does not matter. So when you're on this flat Earth plane, right? You're, hey, I'm Mr. Flat Earth guy, Mr. Flat Earth. Okay, the Globers are completely separate from you. They're now Globies, and people are FE, Flat Earthers. Okay, there's that divide. And a lot of times, we're gonna always cycle back to the whole like a lot. If you want to read some good books, is Be Here Now, Art of War. And a big thing with the Art of War is the whole divide and conquer. So basically, they separate these two people, and now this guy has his beliefs. I'm FE or whatever, and then this other guy who's kind of also a FE, and he's got friends, but they're kind of like questioning, but at the same time, so he's feeling this, and then he's kind of questioning, and then it kind of goes back to him like, hey, is this really it? And then they kind of start questioning, and then so maybe eventually they don't watch the Netflix documentary Proving the Globe, or anything else, or whatever. So the flat earthers, right? So now they're in this cycle of this flat Earth, and they have to constantly like be proving the globe wrong, or proving their the flat Earth correct, because they're on their high horse. So now, what the byproduct is this guy who is like this, that just goes along his reality, completely separating any opportunity that he can have with all of the Globers, anyone else who is not on the same level of thinking. And ultimately, it's going to trap your head in this thought because you're completely obsessed with the idea that everybody's on this plane, that everybody on the plane completely doesn't know what the fuck they're on. Okay? So that's flat Earth. Okay, just don't even worry about globe or flat Earth or any of the other bullshit. You're better off just worrying about your own reality at the end of the day. God, this fucking... That's what I get for not using product. So here we'll do a little bit. But so basically, like, your biggest hurdle in all this shit is going to be the present moment and maintaining your access to the present moment. Okay. So I'm just doing this in one cut, by the way. But by the end of time, I heard Andrew Tate recently say, all societies are always constantly worried about this constant cataclysm or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So ever since I've been growing up, every couple years we get some new fucking bullshit thing. And, but life goes on. So, right? So okay, so we're just going to worry about this line right here. Imagine, like, this is life, right? You're on your time, your timeline. This is your timeline. And this is a lot of times, like, people kind of been slowly grasping the idea of the timeline and stuff. And I'm just going to check if we're still recording. Okay. Yeah, bitch. All right. We're good. So your timeline, right? All right. Anyone that comes else in your life also has a timeline. And if you want to do the dirty or whatever, or like you want to get married, so now your timelines interact with each other and they go on or whatever. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Okay, that's timelines, right? Another thing is reality, right? Everybody's worried about reality. This fucking blue one's pretty strong, so we're gonna go black. So everything, the video, the phone, it's a weird concept, but it's all happening in your brain. You're big spermy, right? Your brain and your brain stem, your eyes, but your eyes take in light. It can only perceive like a certain amount on this huge spectrum of light. So then it takes in this light, and then your whole reality plays in your head, but it's through the perception of you, right? And all day, every day, everybody's trying to get into your light and fill it with whatever BS, poppycock, global cataclysm, blah, blah, blah. Because then, like, when you're kind of worried, it then affects your timeline, because now you're kind of scared and nervous, and you're not open and inviting to other things. You're scared and you're closed off to certain things. Right? So that's like the basic core concept of reality. So then but basically you can think of like, so people talk about dimensions or whatever, dimensions and blah, 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 blah. 1, 2, 3. So basically we're in third dimension reality. This one right here, that's us. And there's basically like lower beings, higher beings, and different things. But so okay, this is the end game, the global poison planet. And a lot of this information is coming from Matt Blackburn, which is all the health things, which kind of help different things. And then a lot of it is Jerry Unfiltered, Dr. Jerry Reher-Dehenio. He's got PhDs, but a lot of this stuff is through his podcast and then digested through me and then what I've known. So basically the prison planet is the one world government, okay, with full control, social credit ideally, or whatever. But we got like about 200 years before it's completely locked down and we can't get out. So this is happening a lot sooner than we think, and then that's ultimately gonna like lead to like the complete shutdown of your exit of Dimension 3. All right. So Jerry talks about ascension. And a long time ago, this path became invalid. So we can't ascend anymore. It's trapped. So when we ascend into the fucking heavens or whatever, we're taught to go to the light, right? Everything is to the light. Always go to the light. Always go to the light. All right, but the light is the fucking technology of the cosmos, of the soul. And so it basically like gets your soul and reincarnates you back into Earth. Okay, the reincarnation trap. You ever seen this diagram of this like guy getting bigger and dying, and then he like young kid, and then he gets old and dies, and then young kid and old and dies? And so what if we were here in your human body with your completely minds wiped, you don't remember any of your past lives, you don't know your true human potential, a lot of the stuff you're fed anything we know is what we're taught or whatever. So a lot of it is all just, it's their version of reality, what they want us to receive or whatever. And most, COVID shows us all, all these different things. Like, and a lot of it opened up or whatever. Ascension. So the proper thing is to ascend. Okay, we have to. Basically, we've got a whole lot of technology inside ourselves and our being that we don't know how to access or use. Like, we as the collective consciousness. Okay, so if we can ascend, then we can just fucking GTFO and go to another galaxy or whatever. All right, so that is the ascension idea. It's another, and then the reality. All right. So then, okay, so basically there's two types of galaxies. There's black holes and white holes, and science recently proved it or whatever, even though it's it's known or whatever. But a white hole gives, black hole takes. Everything in the black hole reality needs to consume to survive other beings. In a white hole galaxy, the galaxy itself is giving you the energy via XYZ. It's beyond our understanding because all we know is the black hole stuff. Basically, the Milky Way galaxy, right? Milky Way. There's a big fucking black hole in the middle, and we're all eventually will hit the prison planet, and then most of the fucking Draco basically digress. Dr. Jerry says digress interloper races that have to consume, life, and they should have died off a long time ago, whatever. But they're still consuming and surviving. So basically, they'll basically take us down black hole fall, and then we won't return to source with any memories or anything. We'll go down black hole fall and it will be end of existence for you. Yeah. So you don't want that. You want to get out of this galaxy and different things through the path of ascension and different things. But you see a lot of the Buddhist meditations, a lot of those things, they can go in and then they've gone to the understanding that when this life is over, they need to go to the next one. They don't need to go back to this life. So when you die, your soul goes out, and it's fucking, all it knows is to go to the light. Let me go to the light, and you go to the light, and fucking, pop up a baby, and fucking 5 or 6 years of fucking just being a baby, you don't, with your mind wiped, it's a completely new reality. So, then that's why you hear about the past life things, past life retreats, past lives, different things. Yeah, so, but in a white hole galaxy, that's never going to happen just because it's always expanding, going out, and it's just it's a completely different reality than ours. And we were once like this until, C8 was seeded in the black hole, and you can look up the C8 and different things, but basically, there's technology far beyond our comprehension and things. So then, I'm not even going to my fucking script. Okay, so that's a lot of the core, it's a lot of these core beliefs, a lot of the obsessions. We're going to kind of bring it back into my train of thought. So let's get it out there. 99 of all these conspiracy theories maybe we'll give it 99.7. Most of the conspiracies are designed, just like Flat Earth, to trap your mind and get you out and separated, separate from your neighbors and whatever. And that's a lot of what social media is. It kind of takes you into your little black box and kind of goes in different things. And if you looked up, there's been recent videos about how each person has actually fed a completely different reality. Like pre-2015, the algorithm weren't as great, and that everyone has this completely doctored reality to where every person is completely different, living in a completely different reality, like based on their social media, based on their algorithms or whatever. So 99% of everything is all a psyop. You don't need to worry about it or whatever. The biggest thing you want to worry about is getting money. Make money and fulfill your dreams, all right? I can't tell you what to do. I'm not trying to do anything with this fucking video. The biggest thing about all your brain problem is getting it out. Just like me right now, I'm getting it all out of my head. We're writing down. So you want to write out everything that's like fucking in your head. You need to write out or meditate. And the meditate is about watching your thoughts. Not watching your thoughts, not just fucking thinking and thinking. Watching your thoughts like clouds, like passing clouds. Okay? And that's a big thing. So then, with everything that is on the internet as a psyop, it's basically like designed to capture your reality and then basically like keep you attached in your little world or whatever. And ideally what they want is you to be so scared that you're always spending your money on these supplies, these bags, this fucking new thing, this 6-month supply that you really don't need that's gonna go out of stock, all this stuff at fear war, blah, 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 blah. But they're not like gonna tell you to go get a good water filter, not gonna tell you to go get a good air filter, oh God, the fucking corona, everybody put a mask on. No, everybody needs to get an air and surface sanitizer by Hypo Air. It's fucking great. So they don't tell you about what you should do. Oh, take vitamin E and niacin when you got a bad face or you have bad skin, And recently, a lot of people are finding out that most all of the diseases are parasites, which is yeah. So basically a disease is a symptom and it's a curse and it's fucking the whole English language is it's a cursed language, and it's weird saying it, but you could feel it when you say different things, and then you speak other languages and it doesn't feel as that or whatever. So, okay, they're not gonna want to tell you to invest your money into education that's actually gonna increase your value, like the whole college certificate thing. We know it's too much money and it's a scam now, and there's stuff online and you can do most anything online, and most everything's in cycles, different things. Even like this, like a couple years, maybe 6 months from now, we could have another fucking quarantine or some crazy disease to come out. It's just like clockwork almost. But it's a playbook, and they run the playbook, and it's been running, and different things. But so basically, so what is reality? So where are we at, as a thing? What's common, today? Okay, looks maxing, right? Okay? There was a rat experiment that the rats got everything they ever wanted and fucking couldn't, they could just do whatever. They had endless supply, blah, blah, blah. But eventually the male rats went to fucking basically grooming themselves all the time and making themselves look good, and they didn't want to mate. anything, and fucking society fell apart and the rats all died. So right now, the guy, Looksmaxer, is telling you not to get a girlfriend. Not the GF, you gotta spend all this money, you can't hang out with your friends, you gotta go out, she's gonna cheat, blah 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 blah. Okay, so like you find a good wife or a good husband. Okay, you don't have to fucking not date or whatever. Most people over here are in this society that is basically like, so around the 1920s, the Rockefeller or whatever, but basically like put a cap on tech. And you can watch a documentary that just came out recently. It's called The Lost Century. But it's about basically how the past 100 years we've had no really major new discoveries in technology, blah, 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 blah. Even though there's all of these patented technologies that produce infinite, endless amounts of energy, all these different patents from all these different guys that make the technology, they get all their energy, you know, and they basically get the fucking rich scientist thing. The guy talks about in the documentary, but they want all this money for their thing, and they try to patent it, they sell, and then fucking they buy it out, or they're killed, or whatever. So the biggest thing right now is just to open source everything and make it really just free to access is our biggest concerns. So, with that said, 1920s, a society, you know, we're in 2026, and we're still using gas and batteries. They've already proven that there's shit that we don't need this. It's like this big and it just collects energy from the ether, just like Tesla wanted. But so now, imagine a society trapped 100 years in the past, and that's been trapped in the same rotation, the same work, sleep, play, work, sleep, play. So for the last 100 years, and there's really been no major developments. Okay. Imagine if the energy was free. There was no energy cost. So everybody didn't pay anything for gas, didn't pay anything for electricity, didn't pay for shit for anything. So now you have this infinite supply of energy, and basically everything is cheap, and there's no poverty because the cost to produce is zero. Okay, this could be us, the Rockefeller plan. Okay, and fucking the big corporate tech, big tech. So basically, I forget something, but you could basically, I don't know, I'll have to do a little more research. I just strung this shit together. But so there was this thing that if there was like a law passed that if like 10%, if there was some technology that would affect 10% or more than 10% or something around that number of the economy or settle things, then they had to kill it. And it was like, there's, in the documentary, explains simple things of like the tires that lasted 20% longer, or like tires that didn't need to be replaced, or this, or like or this. These are just really simple shit. I can't think about it too much because I'm more focused on this and not the documentary, but it's a great watch. So this could be us, but now, so basically we're 100 years, and within, I'd say around 2014 to 17-ish. Like that was around when I was in school, and the kids, the goods layer with us were progressively worse. And I could see it with my own eyes that kids are getting progressively worse. And now you see teachers quitting and different things. But so everybody has their own reality or whatever, and now each of these little kids have their own reality separate from the parents. Okay, it's a little crazy. And have you heard of weaponized? Empathy, weaponize empathy. They basically like weaponize your feelings for XYZ and get you all frustrated and different things. But a simple fact is Obama fucking gave Trump's border czar medals during his presidency, so we'll just say that. Yeah, so we're trapped 100 years in the past, and we're all separated through social media, and it's all driven by money. And then, I don't know where it came from, but so money is... Wait. So in a world of sin, money is God, right? Okay, I don't know where that came from, but it just popped in my head one day. So in a world of sin, money is God, right? Everything is fed through money, blah, 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 blah. Most everything is designed to capture your attention and make you think about everything and this. So you basically want to just dump your head out of things and you write and do different things. So the reality, that they want is everybody in their little house not going anywhere. Alright, kind of too scared to revolt. They want all the men feminized. Excuse me to all my fem men, but a feminized men's society is a lot easier to conquer. No offense to anybody or whatever, but like, I don't know, I see some hard ass motherfuckers though. So that's their goal. I don't think that we as a society like submit. They fucking cut the power, and then the way to get power back is social credit, maybe, or whatever. But like, here we're at 100 years in the past with the same shit, cycled, fear porn, constant attention driven, right? And so each of these spikes is your decisions. Everybody's has highs and low points in their life, you know, and one of these decisions could branch off and send you another and different things. And people talk about these multi-dimensional realities and like each decision could split off and branch into another or whatever and fucking different things. But a big thing you have to worry about is like the psychics and different channelers, and Jerry's like very concerned about channeling, because then when you open up your body to these spirits and these different dimensions exist, there's other entities. They come in and like kind of alter your perception here and say, oh, you're gonna live on a mountain with the fucking long blonde hair and this and that. And so you're not really supposed to know this. You can or whatever, but you don't have, it's not the best. But it's going to, you're gonna want to get here. So like, you see, it doesn't connect. How are you going to get there, you know? And one decision and that, and it could end up, it could bad or whatever. But that's what they're trying to fucking do. With everybody's, and it's successful. I mean, you can see all these fucking unhappy. Everybody's unhappy, right? Right? Because they They're not understanding that this is not the only thing. We're basically an infinite being. Okay? Right? In this physical realm. Because we are source. Like, basically, source and everything came from this source, from the source, right? And we're just an extension of source and consciousness, right? And a lot of the times, the planet is all connected, and there's like conscience and different things, and it's how like when, like, if just for an example, if all animals are scared, like if you go and beat up some animal and you do some shit, a whole different type of animal is going to be a little nervous with you. Whereas like if you're nice with some animals, then you know the other animals are kind of more interested. And you can kind of take this for yourself, and you can kind of see it as like, if you're out there killing and murdering things for no big deal, you're not going to really see too much. But as if you're looking at everything, how beautiful it is, how great it is, you know, great little cute creature trying to give it food, it's going to come around more often. All right. So at the end of the day, you go to sleep, right? Where do we go when we all fall asleep? We die. We're dead. Our spirit is left, right? We're in the spirit realm and different things, and it's like a mini death. You may not come back. So that's why each moment like your last, you know, and enjoy everything. But you don't want to be scared and terrified. You want to live every moment like your last, but you want to prepare yourself for that you're going to live forever. Right? So I'm just gonna kind of say with me, right? So I, got out of a long ass relationship, and sometimes, I kind of like stand myself thinking like, oh, holy fuck, and your mind is always gonna think of the good stuff, and you like, I have to force myself to think of the bad stuff, and then it kind of can process it in different things. But each person is a human, right? And humans have vices. We can look at this as a very great example of when you see a kid's around, a kid fucking spin, he's like spinning around crazy, and then he falls over because he's so dizzy. How the fuck did he know how to do that? Right? I heard this guy at a flea market. I was like, he told that to me, and I was like, holy shit. Humans have incarnate a desire for vices, right? And that's only the byproduct because we're here. I mean, I don't know. But so here we are, right? Humans have vices, and we have to eat, we have to drink, we have to make mistakes, we have to move on, we're going to be misunderstood, we're going to fucking lose everything and win everything, lose and win. And the difference between a loser and a winner is a loser gives up, but a winner never gives up. And you're always going to be a loser until you win. But you're never a loser if you don't give up. Everybody will think you are, but you know to yourself you're not. Because how many fucking XYZ mistakes, different things everybody's got to do before, and everybody sees you at the end of your goal. They see at the end, they don't see all the other shit. They don't see the fucking shit you went through or anything. So as a human, we're going to have emotions. And this is today's currency. And money is just stored time and energy of other humans. Big Daddy Tate said that. I like that. Money is stored time and energy of other humans, and that's why it fucking has value. But so now the attention is no longer there. Now they want to control your emotions, because with your emotions controlled, they can control your purchasing power. And with your purchasing power completely lower and lower, then you won't be able to get out and save yourself. You know, it's unfortunate that most people in the U.S. can't even, you know, like if they have an emergency, they're kind of fucked. And it's unfortunate, and it's just the way everything is taught. But Rockefeller wanted us all to be worker drones, and they didn't want us to know about money, and it's why you see that, like, money seemed to be talked about. You need to talk about it with your family. It's great. It shouldn't be just like death. It should not be a taboo to talk about. Like, everybody dies or whatever. You're just gonna go to the next one. You're fine. It's fucking completely okay. You may feel a little pain or whatever, or fucking, but it's good. It's not you. This body is not yourself. You're a part of something beyond, greater beyond than this. This is just this flesh suit that you're bartering. Right? So as a human, we're here on earth with these desires and vices, right? And it's your choice what to do with them. I don't know what that is, but then, and those choices can either lead to a life or death, good or bad, and reincarnation, and moving on. And that's my understanding. And a lot of times I think people are scared because, like, they're scared of death or whatever, because it's like, oh, death is the end. Spend all your money. It's going to be end. YOLO. You only live once. We're going to, right? It's, how about this? You really never die. Yearned, right? You really never die. You really never die. You either transform or you're fucking harvested. And just debating on whether or not. So, all right. Does anyone know what this is? It's Saturn. The black box. It's everywhere. Right? They gotta pay homage to their maker. Right? Saturn, blah, 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 blah. You kind of look into that a little more, but just kind of be aware how many black boxes and what you're doing with your black boxes and things. And awareness is a lot more. Being aware of things is so much better than being scared of things. And a lot of times, most everything is just you're fed all this shit. And so when you eat this food and you're like, oh, it's going to be bad, it's going to be bad. When you eat it, it's going to be bad. Whereas, like, if you eat this food and you're like, holy fuck, I'm so happy, I'm thankful to eat this food, I'm being with my family, you know, I love everybody, thank you for giving me this food, Father, and it's going to be good for you. Okay? It's energy. And so Tesla talked about All right. Tesla said the universe was energy, frequency, and vibration. It's actually energy, frequency, and oscillation. Things that vibrate are headed to explosion. You don't want to explode. You want to oscillate. You want to raise your oscillation because we're cells spinning. Right? Everything's spinning, right? This is reality. A bunch of bubbles, spinning, energy, cycling on itself and different things. Right? It's not vibrating. You fucking explode. 3, 6, 9, and 12. Okay? This, so we learned about white holes and black holes, right? Black hole is a finite life. White holes are eternal. Finite life is based on finite life is based on beings that live and die. Okay? Eternal life is based on beings that are eternal. So this is going to be your base 10. And then this is going to be a base 12. I.e. 10 toes, 10 fingers. Base 10 reality, live and death, right? Base 12. 6 and 6. It fits into a lot more things evenly. It's more perfect. It does a lot of different things, but it kind of opens this math opens you up to that source recyclation of energy, whereas this math consumes and destroys. Right? And this is going to recycle and regurgitate energy back to you. So, this is where everybody's at, right? This is where I'm at. So, although most everybody, and we're all here, even though I'm here too, but my thoughts have now created this completely separate reality, and I'm going out, and anybody can too. It's the understanding that we are eternal, infinite light, infinite beings. That this is not the only thing. This is not the only thing. We're here, we're eternal, we're experiencing this life, and they want so bad for us to be so riddled with poisons that we get trapped in the fucking AI world, and they can keep harvesting our soul energy till we go black hole fall. Alright? We don't want that. We want to get the fuck out of this realm, ascend, and leave, right? So, I've had a couple times in my life where I have actually had a reset and had a completely empty memory wipe, and a lot of times it happens when you've it happens when you understand that the entire reality is fabricated and that you're the master of all your decisions. And that the shit is a lot more deeper and complex than your understanding, and you kind of feel super small, and you're like, holy fuck, it's a lot more deep, and it's fucking, you go for a little reset, right? But everybody's here, man. This is why everybody's upset. They think they die. They think they're fucking dead when they get shot in the head. They think their friend's in fucking heaven. They think their mom's in hell because she's a bitch. Okay? That's why they're upset. It could be why they're upset, right? They're headed to the black hole, and they want to know about this, and everybody's fucking searching for something. What is it? It's this. the base 10, eternal life, true human potential, right? Energy, frequency, oscillation, change your speech, change your life, right? 3, 6, 9, and 12. You really never die, right? So you can tell anyone about this, and that's why I'm making this video. So when you go around your friends or whatever, this is where they're at, man. Living, death, working, sleeping. Whereas this is more based on like life, like kind of enjoyment, experience, learning, like try to understand maximize your potential. You can try to understand your mistakes. Things can still trap you and things can still kind of grab you, but it's like, you're gonna have a little bit better of understanding. And I always wondered, I still wonder, I think, but like people, you kind of talk around and you talk to people that kind of get it or not get it. And I think the people that get it are kind of just more, acceptance. They're okay with death. They've went through so much agony that like, okay, like here's where I'm at. It's fine. I don't need to fucking worried about these bullshit things. But like, if you kind of change your thought patterns to thinking like, okay, this is not the only life. Okay, my decisions matter. My karmatic retribution matters. Like my things, X, Y, Z. So if like me, I've been thinking like this for a couple years, and like I don't know, I kind of like, here we go, motherfucker, 21. All right, so based on beings live and die, eternal life. Okay, and try to think like that. Okay, hell doesn't exist. Hell's a frame of mind that you put yourself in this reality, in this base reality. Okay. You want to search for peace. Stay away from stress. And if you think that you don't die, like, okay. Okay, life is not the end. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. And just when you thought you only had 100 years, you don't get to end. This is it, man. This is it. We're getting transformed. We're going back to source consciousness. We're going to another life. You could take this body to another dimension. Jerry talks about some pretty out there stuff. But at the end of the day, if you can kind of understand that this is not the only option. I'm an eternal life being. Okay, this is not my end. Okay, you want to protect your energy. Okay, think positive. Your thoughts create reality. Eternal life being. Okay? That's what we are. Nobody knows, though. It's sad. So, protect your energy. I don't know what I said there. So, either way, not important. Your eternal life being, you need to protect your energy, be positive. That's what probably that is. All right? And life is not serious. If you're honestly a good person, you don't need to worry too much. I wouldn't stress over anything. You know, I mean, fucking, as long as you're doing the right thing, you're doing your job, you're gonna be fine. It's sad. People go through all this shit every day and check out and check in and I think they should just smoke a little fucking heroin, right? That always helps anybody. No. So, what did we learn? Your timeline. Okay. Your thoughts mixed with your perception, mixed with the light in your eyes creates reality. Okay, what you're thinking in there, plus with the light you get, creates reality, right? Your choices are on a time sphere. This doesn't end. It's transformed, okay? Even if you dead, right? Okay. This soul is cast. The body is on. Should be transferred back to Earth, and the soul is transferred back to Source. And you're basically there to tell about it. Tell about your life. And then you're sent to the next one. So, but what they want to do is they want to fucking go to the light, right? And then they want you to go to the light and start all over again. Okay? And that way they can keep harvesting your energy on the planet, right? Because there's technology below.
Phone 1 disconnected.
Okay. There's technology below our feet, all this shit, and you can look up all this stuff. I'm not trying to get into any of that, but basically there's a lot of technology beyond our comprehension that we need to actively be saying that I don't align with negative influence. I don't accept outside influence. And you gotta like preload yourself with these sayings like this to block the negativity. Because those cell towers are sending a lot more than waves or whatever, right? How does it all fucking work so quick? This shit didn't work like this when I was like, okay, I can Google and I've got instant 100,000 results and then like click it and now I'm in Asia. All right, I just ordered this shit. All right, let me get this. All right, Amazon. Like, how the fuck is all this happening? Right? Okay, don't worry about it. Worry about yourself. Get a job, keep doing, keep saving, keep investing, sell shit, move on. Right? Move about your life. Make your decisions. Okay? But how you think creates the reality. So, if you think you die, you're fucking gonna be dead. But if you think you're alive, and, you know, maybe you're bad because you don't want to die young, you know, you're going to be a little, you know, it's going to be a different end game. And then maybe you kind of question the reality a little bit and think this is not it. Like, I know I'm capable of more. And you push yourself, you get positive results. Okay? Doing things you don't want to do is good for your brain. right? So then another thing is that everything on the internet is a psyop. Designed to capture your thoughts and separate you from your neighbors, whatever way possible. So your best bet is just to kind of observe these psyops and just observe with patience. Because you don't want any of these things to trigger those emotions. And with that emotions, they know what affects you in different things. And I think a big power play too with the cell phone is if you can get the videos, right, that's sad. And then you're like, I'm not gonna, that doesn't affect me. I'm gonna do a straight face on that shit. I don't know if that helps or not, but fucking whatever. So, but either way, you don't want the fucking thing knowing what upsets you or not. Shorts are really bad, the attention span. And then they trap your attention through the happiness, sadness, that fucking dopamine spike. And people love, and everybody loves their chaos. People love their sadness. People love their misery. Okay? Humans are weird, right? And there's a power aspect, there's a desire aspect, there's a leadership aspect, but they're always going to be the human element. We're always going to have human characteristics, human different things, and a lot of stuff everybody is worried about is because they're human, right? I'm sad. Okay. You're human, it happens. Do what you need to do, get over it, move on. You do not want to live your happy little life with your end game being a casket. Okay? You don't want your end game with your life in a casket. You want your end game to be a white hole galaxy or somewhere far away from this galaxy. That's what you want your end game to be. You do not want to end up. That's like it's almost like at the end, like traps. Again, traps your fucking consciousness in that realm. And so that's all what it is. It's all there. And when you're hanging out with someone and different things, your time all kind of blends the different things. They say you're like your 5 closest friends because literally the energy fucking leaks off you. I've got to cut out certain people. I've had to, and now there's another one. It's just like, it's the same fucking like, okay, you're gonna hang out with me, and every time you hang out with me, you have an epiphany. Like, okay, I'm gonna get my life together, I'm gonna do all this shit, I'm not gonna sit every day on my ass. And then every time I hang out with you, you say the same shit, like, damn, wow, you're doing so much, you have such a great, you got all this, and I'm like, really, my life's like this every fucking day. It's no different. There's a lot of people doing a lot more and a lot better than me, right? And if you can't fucking keep to it, it's almost a joke. Like, I haven't hung out with him in months now, but like the last time he's like, oh, I got an epiphany, I need to really do better. I'm, oh, this again? What is it this time, buddy? And I just like, I'm done. Whatever. If you can't get with it, move on. Fucking. So, I don't know. Everybody's gonna be in your life, or they're fucking not. Like, so the fuck what? It's not that serious. The Joker's whole thing is why it's so serious. Okay? There's a lot more to life than living and dying. And it's not the only thing. This is not the only life. Really never die. Reality, where else can we go? Okay, let's... Okay, so why? Just to give humans their potential. And why do they control? Why do they do all this shit to fucking make us into this base 10 living and dying being that fucking eats all this garbage? Control, power, and they need it to survive. It's only like a couple hundredths of a fucking percent for the reality to change here. A couple tenths of a percent, it's insane. But the more people that kind of understand we're internal, infinite beings, and this is not the end, there's plenty more life to go, and that there's people trying to take it from us, then we'll be doing a lot better off as a society. Okay? Why? Because we are eternal. Heaven and hell doesn't exist. God is completely bastardized in the way you think about it. It's source. All is from source. Everything comes from source. Everything that ever was and is. It's all happened. We're here in our consciousness experiencing it. Okay? Where? We're on Earth. Prison planet to be. We need to get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. How? Insane. We gotta talk to Jerry. So at the end of the day, it could kind of change your thoughts from being a being that dies to a being that never ends. Enjoy each moment and be thankful. You'll be doing a lot good. Reach out to someone you haven't think of. Join a secret society. Be a part of something. Give your life purpose. Be a fucking cog in the machine. And live. Be a human. Work. Be a worker bee. Or fucking be a rich bee. Or be a dead bee. Alright? Alright.